Welcome guys today to a new video. As you see, the 1250R from BMW. It's a bike review today, and I will try to explain to you what my thoughts about the bike, what I like, what I don't like maybe, and how it feels to ride it. As you see, the telerevolver is missing. It's not a GS, but it shares the same engine, and yeah, it's a bike that is long on my wish list to try and ride. And today I have the opportunity from BMW Vienna to test it and to ride it. So I want to show you everything in detail, and I hope you will enjoy when I go out from Vienna to a beautiful Vienna woods. Yeah, almost out of Vienna, and I can say from the beginning I'm really impressed how light this bike is. You know, it's the same engine as in the GS, and it's on the paper lighter than the GS, but it feels really light when you ride it. Also, it's really, and it's like the power is more aggressive. It feels like it has more power, you know, and that's something I really like. And then you have here, for example, the nice dash in the dynamic perspective. I can say I also really like that one. The new S1000RR, for example, has I would say a nicer one. You can of course adapt the software to these bikes or to the GS. There are some specialists in the world, but the problem is you lose every time when a mechanic or BMW is doing an update of the software on the bike. Then you lose this, and then you need to do it again. So I would say until as long as it's in warranty, I wouldn't do it. And yeah, it feels really nice, really handy. Let's see how it will be on some curvy roads and a little bit faster. But until now I really like it. I would say also it's really sporty from this position, how you sit compared to a GS, compared to a HP2. It's something where I say I could maybe get a little bit stressy when I want to ride a little bit longer. But if you ride like sport bikes or naked sport bikes, and you like the sport feel but want to have some momentum or torque, then this bike is some really nice option. I would say it don't place in the Super Duke League, because the Super Duke League is much more sporty and not a sport touring bike, and this is like more a touring sport bike, a naked touring sport bike. The RS is, for example, again something more sportier with the handlebars and the whole body panels. And yeah, so let's have some look how it will be in the twisties, okay? Because the twisties are starting. Look how many BMW bikes are running, and I'm running today with my friend with his HP4. Unfortunately, he couldn't run an S1000RR, but he will do it sooner or later for sure, just to compare the new bike to his HP4 and have a comparison to these two bikes. So yeah, I can say the first impression is really nice. As you see, third gear, a little bit of throttle, and the momentum or torque is doing everything for you, and it's really nice to ride. I really like it, I can say. So yeah, I know the engine quite good. This twist is, I know a little bit, but I can say from the first corners and some speed ups, the brakes are the same as on the GS, and they feel much more aggressive. So the bike feels, as I said before, it's really sporty, and I really like it. I can say I really like it. Okay, I have BMW blood in myself, but I can say it's really impressive because the brakes are really the same as on the GS, and on the GS they feel a little bit, yeah, could have more power. But okay, here are 320 brake disc, and on the GS we don't have 320s, so okay, the brakes are a little bit bigger, of course. Yes, sorry, I need to repass my yeah, saying before. So, but everything else, it's like a really nice bike. If you ride like that and you sit like that and you just enjoy it, and you have a speed control, you have a nice dash, a TFT, and yeah, I'm really curious how the new one will be, because the new one will be for sure lighter than this one, what I know. And of course we need to wait 1 year for a new one, but I think this one is the most attractive 1250 you can get on the market, because it's cheap when you buy it new. It's cheap. You will not find a cheaper 1250 than a 1250R on the market. You have the same settings as on an RS, you can carry the same, and you have the same options or the same comfort as on the GS when it comes to suspension. And when it comes to seat position, it's a little bit different. And sorry guys if my microphone or my voice is not the best one because of the wind. It's my first one, my motor vlog where I do something like that, so please apologize for that. I will try to do the best of it. I try to improve every time when I do a video, but yeah, that's the first one I do for now. And yeah, look at this nice place, and it's just only 10 minutes from the city, of the edge of the city, and you have such nice hills. So yeah, Vienna is really cool when you want to ride bikes, when you want to enjoy some curves. So yeah, the twisty starts again, and you see here the brake line, the brake on the road. Yes, that was an R1 that got destroyed last week. He was a little bit too fast, and yeah, couldn't take the corners, and he was not really experienced rider. So yeah, but back to the bike, I am really impressed. I really like it, and I can say everyone should try it if you have it in your mind. I do the turnaround now because I need to go back to BMW, as I only got the bike for 2 hours. But for the first impressions, to get a deep review, it's maybe not too much, but to do a little review is, I would say, enough. So yeah, as you see, I have mounted my Insta360 in the front, and yeah, the bike really cool. I give it my friend to ride it. He tested it for some corners, and he said really that's a bike where he would drive now straight to Barcelona and just try it, because that's what he say is really comfy, sporty but comfy. Yeah, for me, for example, when you came to a different bike, because he's driving only sport bikes, and sport bikes, as you know, are a little bit different from seat position, and I know his HP4. If you want to see a HP4 review, just tell me, then I will organize something with him. Just put it in the comments. Just put in the comments what you think about the bike. Maybe you own the bike, maybe, and you can tell me what your thoughts and what's your experience about this bike. And yeah, I can say I really like it, and if you want to buy a 1250, I can say there is not much to look at this bike, you know, because this bike are really reliable. 1250 boxer engine, everything, equipment, heated grips, then molding riders. Of course you need to take the packages to have everything, of course, but I would say if you take everything, you have everything what you need in normal life. The ABS in Dynamic Pro later when you put the stick in, it's for sure something you don't need to turn off. On the street, never, you don't need to turn it off. The same on the GS, I never turn it off on the street because it's good enough. It depends on the tires, of course, how the ABS is working and how the ABS is reacting, but it's really sporty enough. It's a little bit minus, for my opinion. It's a really minus on the GS or every boxer. It's a minus that you just can't adjust the traction control, you know. That's something, it's really strange for me that BMW is doing it over the riding modes, and in the riding modes you can only adjust like the throttle response and everything else, but not really the traction control like on other bikes from 1 to 7 or from -7 to 7 or something like that, like other sport bikes or like other bikes have. It just only have like the traction control, how you see, and it's presetted, so you can turn it off or go to Dynamic or Dynamic Pro and set it to Dynamic Pro, and that's the maximum you can get and nothing more. You cannot adjust the wheelie control or anything, so it's just only you need to turn off the wheelie, the traction control, so that you can make wheelies. And this is something I can say, this is our performance features that should be available for the customer to play. They have such a nice dash, as you see, and they could put, there are so many, you know, there are so many possibilities to make it adjustable, and it don't need to be adjusted via the control like when you ride. It can be like adjusted only when you stop the bike and do it. So, but it would be a nice feature, and I would say a bonus what it makes more attractive to people, because yeah, it's something cool. The GS, for example, also, yeah, the maximum on traction control what you can adjust is the Enduro Pro in real, and then you can slip. But when you go to Dynamic Pro, you have, let's say, a little bit of lag on the grip, but it don't allows much, and even the wheel on the front is just only going up a little bit from the surface or almost nothing. And this should be something up to the rider to adjust it and to his preferences. I know it's safer like that for everyone, and not many people are riding on the edge of these bikes or try to ride on the edge of the bike, like from the performance edge, but IGS can do a lot, really a lot. And this bike, a 1250R, the same. I can say it would be for some people maybe a little bit more attractive than a Super Duke, because it has a really nice, good, big engine, a nice sound on the Akapovich exhaust like here, and it has like the more comfy style of riding. So if you want to go for touring, then I would say this is a really nice option to have, to try. The quick shifter that is mounted, it's the same like on the GS, and there is nothing I can say, this is working better. Everyone that is driving a Boxer knows how the quick shifter is working, and for me personally, I can say you need to live with it. I'm sorry, but you need to live with it. It's up to the gearbox. it's up to the cardan, and then you have the final drive, and these are some factors that are different to other bikes, and this is why it's also working different on this bike than on other bikes. And yes, I'm sorry to say that so harsh, but it is so, and it's technically. And then here the 1250, yeah, it's a really cool thing. I really like the engine on my GS. I drove 40,000 kilometers on this bike, on the GS, and I was really happy. I don't have it anymore. It's in the family, my father owns it, but I sometimes ride it. And I will do a review in the near future with the 1250 GS from my father, or my old 1250 GS, and explain to you deeply, really deeply, maybe in different parts, like do a review about the GS, then later I will do a 1200 or 1250, what is the better option or what you should look at. So what you should look at when you buy it, this would be the second video, and then maybe some also tire review that I was using on the 1250 and why I was using these tires on the 1250. So I hope this first motorcycle review, you like it, and you see here in the front beautiful Vienna, and yeah, you see nice hills next to Vienna, but sorry. So I hope you like this. I hope you want to see more in the future, and just thumbs up, subscribe please, put comments, whatever you think. I'm really happy to hear what you want to see in the future maybe. And yeah, see you, goodbye, and look at this beautiful scenery, call it Vienna.